Today I'm going to be making a beautiful fall centerpiece using this wine rack that my sister-in-law found in someone's trash. So I'm going to start by taking off the racks themselves, and of course after I got them off I looked at them and immediately saw a future project, so I will be keeping those and making a video in the future with them. But once I have all of these off, this is just a beautiful wooden arched frame, and it does have some lettering on it. I think it has some wine, Chardonnay, and maybe a Pinot Noir on it. And it's just so interesting, and it's very lightweight. I'm using a sanding block to sand over just the holes where the screws came out of, just so it's not rough. Once I have that finished, I have some fall florals and some little pumpkins, and I am just going to kind of lay these out to see how I want them, because I'll be attaching them to just one side of this. And the reason for that is twofold. For one, I want to be able to see this beautiful frame with some of that lettering on it. And two, my table is only 24 inches wide, and we eat on one side of the table, so I didn't want to fill it with florals on the back side. But I'm glad that I decided just to do one side, because this came out gorgeous. So please stick around until the end so you can see what this looks like. Now once I have my florals laid out and I kind of have an idea of where I want to put everything, then the next thing I'm going to do is I will be taking just some twist ties, and I will be twist tying all of my stems together, except for my individual pieces that I will be gluing in later. And I didn't need very many for this. I actually think I only used 3, maybe 4 twist ties. Once I have it all twist tied together, I'm just going to use hot glue, and I'm going to glue the center of it right to the top of this frame. And here's a tip: if you have a glue stick you need to insert into your glue gun, melt the end of it and then stick it in and let it adhere to the glue stick that's already inside, and you won't have to worry about your glue stick falling out. Now I did have to hold this down for a minute because I used a lot of glue. But once that was dried, then I went back and I started filling in with some of my individual pieces, and I'm just going to hot glue these pieces in just where I feel like they're going to look the best. And that orange flower I had just stuck in there, and it wasn't glued yet, but it got caught on something, so I was having a little trouble getting it out. But I did finally get it out so I could actually glue it in so it wouldn't fall out. And if you'll notice, the reason I put the orange flower on this end is because I do have orange leaves on the other end, and I wanted to balance out my colors. And here I just cut a little piece of cat's tail off so I could put it on the other side. That way it would balance that out and make it look a little bit more cohesive. And I'm doing the same thing with those leaves. That way I have that color on the other side as well. And here I'm gluing in the pieces that I want in the center of this. Sorry, I keep leaning over, but I was having a little bit of trouble seeing what I was doing, so I came around the front of this to add my pumpkins. That way you can still see what's happening. So as you can see, I did just have 2 pumpkins on the table, but now I have 3 pumpkins and a small gourd, and that's because I found this other little pumpkin I had that had some brown speckles on it, and it was a little bit different color orange, and so I thought that would tie in really well. And I had kind of a bald spot, so I had this little gourd that I'm just going to glue right onto the front in the center. And these worked out perfect. And here I was just trying to decide where I wanted this pumpkin. It took me a minute, but I finally figured it out. So once I have the pumpkins glued on, then I'm just spreading out my foliage a little bit how I want it, and then I'll be setting this aside and moving on to step 2, which involves mason jars and fairy lights. This is my favorite part right here. So these mason jars, they are great. They say Atlas on them, and I get these from the grocery store or from Amazon because we use Classico Alfredo sauce. And Classico's pasta sauces come in these amazing mason jars. And I save these. The labels come off so easy if you soak them and then just use a little scrubby to get the adhesive off. It's so simple. You don't have to have any type of Goo Gone or anything like that unless you just want to use it. But I use these in so many projects and just around the house to put lights in or candles. They're just great. And then these little fairy lights, they're so pretty, and they're just little battery operated ones. They come with the batteries in them, and I got them on Amazon, so I'll link them below. And they just make the jars look so pretty. I don't know what it is about fairy lights and mason jars, but they're just so beautiful to me. Once I have those in, then I did notice I have this kind of a hot glue mess on the back side, so I am just going to glue another pumpkin right there, and it's going to cover it right on up. And also, I'm sorry if you can hear the cicadas in the background. They are just going crazy today. Now I'm just setting these jars right inside of the frame. And this is all. It was so simple. Gosh, I wish you could see this in person. It is just gorgeous. So here it is with the lights off. And I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope this inspires you to make some fall decor and think outside the box, because as soon as I saw this wine rack that my sister-in-law gave me, the first thing I thought of was a table centerpiece. And as you can see, it turned out amazing. And I hope you share this video with your friends, and please like and subscribe, because that will really help my channel out. And I appreciate you so much for being here and watching my videos. Have a blessed day. Thank you again.